Smoke is kind of just settling in this area, and I mean, the smell is just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's very thick. It's hard to breathe. And I'm actually going to put my mask on while we're talking just because it's kind of soaking in. And anyone in the area is being asked to shelter in place if they are within that west side of it, because it is going right behind me here. It's skinnier though as we speak, but we have been seeing flames come from that right corner. So I'm going to let you guys take a look there. But one of the things that I was told is this is kind of just part of when you're fighting anything with chemicals like this, is there's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs when it comes to firefighting it. And so right now we're seeing it's getting skinnier, which is hopefully a positive sign that we're hearing and seeing in this area. Now you guys can see, if I'm going to have Doug go up that smoke plume there, you guys can see it's still that dark color. Now that's one of the things that shows that the particles are in the air, but it's not moving as much as it was. It was originally moving all the way down west, and you guys can see it's just very hazy.
Neighbors telling you.
Well, guys, neighbors are saying it was like being in the middle of a battle zone as shots were being fired left and right. Bullets were hitting cars, hitting homes in this area. And all while this was happening, there were kids actually on this school bus right back behind me here. I was told it was a full school bus of kids. And what some people are telling me is the kids were diving down to the ground, trying to take cover. A lot of crying and screaming as that shootout was going actually down this street. Now, if you take a look over here at this truck right beside me here, that truck was one of the cars that was hit down the street. That's the closest that we can see. Now you can see the back window was shot out in the back, as well as the license plate right next to it for those documents to drop. So as soon as we get those, we're going to be able to tell you guys what exactly he's being charged with. But he does have ties to our mayor, Mayor Cantrell, and also a very large businessman here in the area. More than 20 counts. You have wire fraud, you have defrauding the public of the city of New Orleans, honest service fraud, just to name a few. And we've been pouring through these documents here, a lot of information, not looking so good in the sense of doing the right thing for the public. But one of the most important things that really stood out of these documents were the text messages.
Cassie, what have you learned about the missing men?
Well, Gina, we really don't have any new updates, but what we do know so far is the Coast Guard was called around 11 o'clock earlier today when they say those men did not show up to muster. Now, they do believe those men are in the water. Now, they've been searching by boat and by air trying to find those men. A little bit more on the men that went missing. The Coast Guard says all 4 people who were reported to be missing are Bangladeshi nationality, ages 25, 29, 30 and 47, and all crew members of the bulk carrier vessel Meghna Adventure. Now, the Coast Guard says they reportedly did not arrive on board their vessel today when they were supposed to. Now, we haven't had any updates in the last couple hours, but we will keep you updated with the latest information here on air and online at WDSU.com. Reporting here in Belle Chase, I'm Cassie Sherm. Back to you.
The city says about being found liable for his actions. Cassie.
Well, Gina Travers, after hearing 3 days of witness testimony, the jury of 9 people decided the city will be paying that teen $1 million, stating the city didn't do enough to protect her with someone who is tasked with protecting the city. Not just damage in the apartments. A lot of people were having injuries when it came to walking the streets with this flooded area. Take a look at this large, very large hole here. It's about 3 to 4 feet deep in there, and just take a look at some of the video. We had people that were walking through here trying to escape the rain when they completely fell into the hole. I think we saw at least 3 or 4 falls during this entire time out here. That's one of the things Courtney had mentioned earlier in her live shot, that you have to be very careful when it comes to walking through flooded areas because you just don't know what's underneath, especially when it's so hard to see. And with this rain coming down and the wind, it just was not a safe thing. Now, some of the businesses in the area did see water at their footsteps, but fortunately no businesses flood in the area, so that's good. But a lot of people tell me they are concerned that if this water keeps on coming how it did earlier today, they're expecting some flooding later tonight, and we're going to continue to keep a good eye on this area. Reporting here in the French Quarter, I'm Cassie Sherm. Back to you.
Find WDSU's Cassie Sherm with the latest. Cassie, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, here at this scene, this is where a majority of that shooting happened. I'm being told from witnesses that two cars had a shootout down the street here, leaving bullets to fly, hitting cars, hitting buildings. In fact, 5 people were hit by bullets here. One man has died in the hospital, what we're being told right now. And I just want to show you guys over here. If you take a look past this police car, you can see detectives are marking the different areas of where they've found evidence, where they've found bullet casings, though it's just one of the areas. In fact, this entire area that I'm at right now is riddled with officers.
Former Director Tyrell Morris pled not guilty before the judge today to 4 counts: malfeasance in office, false personation of a peace officer, insurance fraud, and second degree of injuring public records. Now, my investigation into Morris last year started 4 days after Morris was in an accident in his government-issued car. In an interview that same week, Morris told WDSU a car clipped his right bumper and the two pulled over. He said because no one was hurt and because there wasn't anyone available to dispatch right away, Morris and the driver agreed to exchange information and leave. WDSU Investigates obtained video of the accident from the city crime camera. It shows video of Morris swerving into the other driver, then turning on his blue lights and following that driver. When we first spoke to Morris, he said he did not have to get a drug or alcohol test after the crash. He said he didn't have to because it wasn't in their policy. I asked for that policy issued in 2019. In my investigation, I found Morris modified the document given to me to show he didn't have to take a test. He changed it minutes after I called him. After court today, I tried to get answers from Morris and his lawyer, Brian Capitelli, about these altered documents.
Hi, do you guys have anything to say after today's
Don't have
hearing?
anything. We just filed some motions today. We're asking the state for additional discovery, and on the 31st, we'll see what they give us, and we intend to test the legal sufficiency of the case at this point. So that's all the comments we have right now.
Tyrell, do you have anything to say for giving WDSU
does
false
not.
or inaccurate documents?
Doesn't have
You pled not guilty today. Do you believe that you're not guilty for all 4 counts? Even though your name was on the metadata that basically changed the documents before it was given to WDSU? 17 minutes after I called you.
Now, the case will be back in court for discovery July 31st. This is where the DA's office will turn over any of the evidence for this case, and we're going to be following this very closely. Reporting here in studio, I'm Cassie Sherm, WDSU Investigates.
Also, right. And the allegations of having any state or public document being altered, that's a concerning thing that needs to be looked at.
And I think they're certainly looking at all of this while also balancing the continuous operations of 911. And so I was pleased with the seriousness that they've looked at all of this, and the fact I think it really shows the board's commitment to this, that the meeting will occur this coming Tuesday.
And you're going to be coming to that meeting as well?
I do plan to attend.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, and we're going to continue to follow the story as it continues to develop and give you guys the latest information here on air and online at WDSU.com. Reporting here in New Orleans, I'm Cassie Sherm. Back to you.
Cassie Sherm with the latest. Cassie, thank you so much.